Welcome to KonstructIQ. Before we create projects or send estimates, we need to properly configure your account. In this video, I'll walk you through the navigation, your core settings, some of your financial defaults and permissions, and everything else you might need to build from here to create a clean, stable, and scalable estimating system. So we'll start off by looking at your navigation bar right here at the top. Once you log into your account, this is what everything will look like. And your navigation bar will be here with your home page first, your project section, and under your project section, you'll have your all projects where you'll be able to see every single project you have. You'll have your templates, which will be any estimates you decide to save for later. And then your workspace. Within your workspace, you'll have your PDF tools where you'll be able to manage your PDFs. Specifically, you can merge multiple PDF documents into one, or you can split one document that's large into multiple smaller portions that you can upload into the system if you're having issues with large uploads. Next, we'll have our financial section. So if you decide to use our payments, any of our financial management, you'll have all those listed under your payment section. So you can be able to see the payments that are going out and coming into your system. Under our people tab is where you'll be able to manage everyone that works with you within your ecosystem. Everyone from clients, subs, and any staff members you have as well. You'll be able to add each of those by clicking on any of these and then clicking add for each of those users. For clients and subcontractors as well as staff members, you can upload a CSV if you have multiple that you want to upload at once. You'll also be able to set up job types and then any time card details you want for each of those staff members as well. Moving on to the far right here, we'll have our referral program, which will be this gift icon. If you clicked on this, it'll generate a unique link that you could share with anyone, your peers, friends, and you'd get $200 for each person that signs up. The question mark will be our support. So if at any point while using the software you needed support, you could reach out directly through our support chat here, and you'll be first met with an AI who will field those responses. And then you will also have the support of our support agents if you need additional help. You'll also have access to some of our online resources as far as videos, articles, and etc. Next, you'll have the bell icon, which will be your notifications. And you can set up how you want to receive those notifications by clicking on your initials here. You can set up your notification preferences by clicking on here and then setting up how you like to receive each of those email notifications. And then under your initials, you can also see your account details. Specifically here, what you can do is you can add your GC signature as well as your title. So if you'd like this to show up on any estimates you're signing, as well as with your clients, you can set up your signature here to have that show up on any documents, change orders, estimates, etc. We'll get started by clicking on our settings, which will be this gear wheel here in the top right. Now that you understand the basic layout, let's configure your business. Now that you understand the layout, let's configure how your business presents itself. So first off, we'll have our business info page. The idea here is you want to set up your business profile, mainly your name, the primary contact, any emails or phone numbers you have, the website if you have one, a mailing address, and then your logo. This is all information that reflects on any estimates or documents you send out. So you want this to be accurate and up to date so your clients know who you are and how to reach you. Next, we'll go down to our payments and linked account section. And if you're wanting to use our financial management as well alongside estimating, this is where you can set up your banking information. You'll set this up by clicking on Enroll Now, which will take you through the steps to set up your banking information, and they'll ask for some additional information. What that lets you do is allows you to process ACH, card, and checks through our system. Right beneath that, you'll also have the option to enable your homeowner financing. And what that is our partnership with Acorn Financial, a third-party lender, will allow you to, right underneath your enrolling your bank information, you can set up your homeowner financing. Through our homeowner financing, you can offer your clients another additional way to pay. So instead of having to pay you all upfront, they can apply for financing through our partner, Acorn Financial, and they can finance that with Acorn over a couple of years and pay you immediately. So they'll get the funds immediately from their loan partner and they'll pay you, and then they're responsible for financing that payment on their own. You don't have to deal with any of the admin for that. All you'd have to do is turn this on, and you can find out additional information by clicking on these links. Next, we'll go to our project section, and this is where we start getting into Next, we'll go to our project section, and this is where we'll cover project defaults and some of the additional behavior that applies across all our projects. So a lot of this information you can change at the project level, but if you want to set some of your global standards that will stay consistent across multiple projects so you don't have to change information multiple times, this is where you can come through to set some of those configurations to save yourself some time. So at the very top here, we'll have our pricing preferences. So you can set your fixture quality between low, mid, or high. You can enable tax if that's something you guys use and want to see appear on your estimates. If you guys use allowances as well, you can enable it with this checkbox. And then these two checkboxes are relate to the level of detail that show on the estimates as far as the markup and margin breakout, as well as the quantity and unit cost breakout. Next, you'll be able to also set up whether you use markup or margin, and then your profit percentage that you want. Scrolling down, you'll see our cost types. And so in our system, we really have two major cost types, labor and materials, and then a miscellaneous other category. And you can add as many categories as you want, as well as deleting those categories and setting up unique percentages for each of those. At the very bottom of that project section, we'll have our labor rate section. And the idea here is you can set up your own labor rates and what numbers you use for those. These are typically broken out by trade, so you don't want to put an individual's name in here because the AI will not understand who those individuals are and how individuals to different roles or different rate types. So you want to break it out by different labor types. For example, electrical or plumbing like I have here, you can set your rate amount. And you can also set it by hour, which is the default. Otherwise, if you want to set it by something else, you'll click on that unit, and then you can change this to be whatever works better for you guys. Moving on from our project section, next we'll go to our estimate section. Under our estimate section, again, we kind of start getting into more of that customization for the estimate document specifically. So right here at the top, you'll see we have our enable labor and materials breakdown. And what this is for is, so next we'll go to our estimate section where we can continue to tweak and hone in on the customization for our different estimates. So at the very top, you'll see our AI instructions. And what this is for is to give our AI instructions that will apply across all your projects. So if you generally operate as a specialty trade, like you only do drywall and insulation, what you can do here in your AI instructions is you can let the AI know to only pull that scope of work from every single plan. I would recommend using this more so if it applies to every single project you're doing and not so much a one-off basis. There's also space to do this per each plan, so I would recommend trying it out on the projects level as opposed to setting this up first and then seeing how you like that output. And then once you have your perfect prompt or your ideal prompt, coming and adding this in here. From that area, we have our labor and materials breakdown. What this enables you is to select how you want your labor and materials broken out, whether you want that together as one line item or separately. Personalization is what lets our system learn from you. So like I mentioned, you can go through our system and you can create templates and save those templates within your system. What that allows our system to do with personalization enabled is that our system will use those templates when it's pricing out your future jobs. So it will use similar categories and then calculate the similar pricing based on those templates you already have set up within your system. Next, we'll have our payment schedule section, which is where we again enable you to use some of our automated invoicing. So what this does is enables you to set up your payment number. So what this enables you to do is it lets you set up your default amount of payments that you normally accept, the percentages for each of those, as well as any names if you have for those. And then if you turn this on, this will automatically create those invoices when you have any estimate approved. So you're not having to go through and manually create those yourself. This is more so if you have a structure that's set up by default percentages as opposed to milestone-based pricing or invoicing or something like that. At the very bottom is where you can also include your terms and conditions. Once you set it up in here, it'll show on any estimates you approve or any estimates you send out, so you don't need to manually enter these for each of your estimates as well. Next, we'll go down to our invoices tab. Invoices, bills, change orders, and purchase orders are pretty self-explanatory and easy to understand. This is more so about changing the prefix structure for those documents. For invoices specifically, you can also set your invoice terms as well as set up enable reimbursement on invoices. And you can also set up the terms and conditions for this document as well as the others as well. These are all pretty similar. I'll go down to our fees, discounts, and taxes. And this is where you can add on any additional fees, discounts, or taxes you offer as a business. It doesn't matter if they change by different states. What you can do is you can come in here and add all the possible fees or taxes you have. And at the project level, what you can do is you can have a drop-down menu that you can select which tax, fees, or discounts apply on a case-by-case basis, as opposed to applying all of them at the same time. For fees, you can add them on as a flat amount or a fixed percentage. Next, I'll go down to cost codes. And under cost codes is where you can choose and tweak how you'd like your system to organize your information categorically, specifically, and by line items. So we have a default that our system uses, but you also have the option to use a custom cost code format as well. So what this allows you to do is to upload a CSV if you have a CSV output for how you like information organized. Again, this is typically broken out by the categories you want and then how those line items under each of those categories look as well as how they're named. You can upload your CSV here, which will then give you the option to see about, you can upload your CSV here, which will then have you the opportunity You can upload your CSV here, which will then give you the opportunity to verify the information before you actually approve it and upload it within your system. Once you do upload it into your system like I have here, you have the opportunity to go through and adjust that information too, whether it's adding the category code, changing the category, or changing the details for the item code or the actual item itself. The client view section is where you can adjust the information that's shown on the actual estimate itself. Again, this is something you can adjust at the project level. The time card settings are where you can adjust the specific details for the time cards, how they're calculated, what breaks are paid or not, what breaks you offer, and any other details related to that time card. At the very bottom, if you do use At the very bottom of our settings is our QuickBooks integration. If your company currently uses QuickBooks, what you can do is you can set up a QuickBooks integration by coming down here and clicking on Connect to QuickBooks. What that'll do is it'll prompt you to sign into QuickBooks and get your account logged in, signed in, and to set that mapping and structure between our software and QuickBooks to allow easy passage of information between our software and QuickBooks. This will save you a lot of time from having to share information manually or going and manually putting information twice, as this is a two-way sync. That is pretty much everything for setting your account up in KonstructIQ. I recommend taking a couple of minutes to make sure your own account is set up from this video, and next we'll walk through how to create an estimate. At this point, your foundation is built, your branding is set, your financial defaults are configured, payments are connected, and your team structure is in place. In the next video, we're going to use this foundation to create and send your first estimate the right way. Before moving on, take 10 to 15 minutes to complete these settings inside your own account. A strong setup makes everything a lot easier from here and ensures that you're doing a lot less manual work on the latter end when you're creating your estimates. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.